Epic Universe just dropped the most important update since the park was first announced. Hello everybody and welcome. After years of speculation, we finally have our first glimpse at the Battle at the Ministry attraction coming to Epic Universe. And we are going to talk about why this is the most important update that we've all been waiting for. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic looks absolutely spectacular. Spared no expense on this park. It is opening on May 22nd of 2025, grand opening for Epic Universe, and I could not be more pumped for this park. I will be totally honest, when I first heard there was going to be another Harry Potter area in Universal after having Hogsmeade and then Diagon Alley, we're all thinking, do we really need a third Wizarding World area? And I am happy to say the answer to that is unequivocally yes. We need more Harry Potter, more, and more. And I know a lot of people were disappointed when they heard it was around the Fantastic Beasts universe, because the Fantastic Beasts, while great in its own right, isn't quite as popular as the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So people, including myself, maybe thought it may not live up to the expectations of the Harry Potter universe. But after seeing everything that they've been doing with this land, and I've said this in previous videos, even just the structure and the architecture of the buildings in the Wizarding World area for the Fantastic Beasts, those structures are enormous. Universal has said that the smallest building in this new Fantastic Beasts area is still bigger than the tallest building in Diagon Alley. And I don't know about you, but when I walk into Diagon Alley and I sort of look into this sort of cityscape, if you will, this town, it looks enormous. Everything is so tall. It just feels like everything towers above. And they've just done such a great job with that sort of effect that they have with sort of going up that cobblestone and looking at these tall buildings. It feels gigantic. And this new Wizarding World area in Epic Universe is going to be even taller than that, and it's going to be more impressive. I am so pumped for this. Now, before we get to the major update that's coming, I want to go through a little bit of a background on this attraction and this area, and we're going to jump straight into it because there is this new information that we've just gotten. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, it's going to change everything. And I think everybody is missing the point here. A lot of people have maybe heard some of this information, but they are totally missing why this is important and why this is such a big deal. So let's go into some of the background and then we'll get to that in just a minute. Now, the most exciting thing about this area is that it's not only going to be the French sort of Fantastic Beasts universe, 1920s Paris, but it's also going to encompass the British Ministry of Magic, and that's using this sort of this Metro flu network from the movies. Now, I just think that is an awesome thing that they've thought about, because I think if it would have been all Fantastic Beasts, it might have been a little bit of a letdown for some people, but the fact that they're doing both Fantastic Beasts and sort of that Paris sort of French Ministry of Magic, but then also on top of that, the British Ministry of Magic, and allowing you to transport back and forth between the two via this sort of Metro flu system that has that green flames in the fireplaces that you basically transfer from one location to the other, which you're very familiar with from the movies. I think that was a brilliant decision by Universal. Now, a little bit of background on the Battle at the Ministry attraction. It is promised to be an exhilarating experience where they've created even the ride vehicle itself, the ride system. They had to completely reimagine some of their ride systems and vehicles that they had to work with and just take it to another level, because what they want to do in this attraction couldn't be done with existing technologies. The story of this attraction is that Dolores Umbridge, the evil pink lady from the Wizarding World movies, the Harry Potter movies, she is on trial for all of the horrible bad things that she did in those movies. And this attraction and queue look unbelievable. unparalleled. I cannot wait to sort of go through this stuff. But some of the areas that you're going to go through in this attraction include the Magical Archives, the Department of Magical Creatures, and we'll get to that in a second, and the Time Room with all the time turners and the clocks. If you remember the time turners from one of the Harry Potter films where Hermione is using that sort of time turner to basically speed things up, and she's able to go back in time in order to basically go to 2 different classes at the same time. So there's going to be all sorts of really cool things from all the films in this attraction. One of the coolest things that I'm looking forward to is how they're going to do the Metro Flu system with those green flames that come across, because you're going to go through that. You're basically going to transfer through those into the British Ministry of Magic. It's going to be some sort of cool effect that I am so excited for. They've been keeping that really close to the vest. We have almost no information on that at this point. We don't know how it's going to be done, but I can bet it's going to be something really cool and similar to the platform 9 3/4 if you've ever been on the Hogwarts Express there in Universal. How you sort of go through that cool effect. It makes you look like you're walking straight through the wall like in the movies. Now let's talk about the ride vehicles and the attraction itself. This is believed to be a amazing thrill and motion simulator coaster. Think combination between a couple of different attractions that you're familiar with. Things like Spider-Man and the Forbidden Journey attraction, combining some of those technologies that you see between those two. Spider-Man uses the ride vehicle system referred to as the Scoop system. The Scoop system is essentially a ride vehicle that moves around independent of its base and allows it to sort of go 360 degrees in about 2 seconds. And then obviously the Forbidden Journey uses the Kuka arm style ride vehicle, which is what they're using for the Monsters Unchained in Dark Universe. It's the same ride vehicle system used in the Forbidden Journey, but Monsters Unchained is supposed to basically be a way more enhanced version of that. What we know right now is it's supposed to be an enhanced version of the Scoop vehicle used in Spider-Man. So just like Spider-Man, it can move independent of the base there in all these different directions to give you this feeling of moving or even rising and falling, but it actually lifts vertically upwards of about 10 feet. So think about the vehicle going up into the air and reticulating around and coming back down and being able to do up and down drops to give you that sort of simulation that you're in an elevator, because this is an attraction where you're getting into the elevator at the Ministry of Magic, and you're able, if you remember from the movies, those elevators move, you know, right, left, up, down, forwards and backwards, slantwise, all these different directions. So they need some sort of vehicle that can simulate that, even simulating, like, if you've been on the Spider-Man ride, it simulates via like screens and slight movement to make it feel like you're falling, but you're not really falling. So they want to be able to have that, both the sensation like you feel like you're falling, but also potentially make you fall a few feet to give you even more of that experience. Now, it is possible that this could be some sort of variation of the Kuka arm. I'm not sure. I think some people have reported on that. Everything we know says it's an enhanced Scoop vehicle, but it could also be Kuka arm. I'm not 100% sure. But if you've ever seen the Universal Beijing Jurassic World attraction, that's going to give you a little bit of a taste of what we're talking about. That's sort of a trackless version using the Scoop vehicle system where they have a ginormous dinosaur, this Indominus Rex, chasing your vehicle. So this thing actually comes out and runs after you while you're on this ride system, and they're gonna have something similar to that most likely in this attraction. We know that the Department of Magical Creatures is one of the areas that you're gonna go through in this attraction, and there's all sorts of creatures running loose. Most likely some sort of large creature is gonna chase you. We've heard rumors of the Rumpet, which is basically this like sort of ginormous like rhinoceros type thing, which could basically be chasing your vehicle at some point. So I'm really excited about this. So that's a little bit of background on this attraction, but now let's get to the new stuff. This is what is the most exciting, what they have just given us. This is the most important update that we've received on Epic Universe, I'm telling you, since it was first announced. And this is because we finally have our first substantial comparison point between the concept art and the reality of what they're building. We've had construction updates and flyovers and little teasers of things here and there from some of the things that are going on. We've seen animatronics and glimpses of some of the attractions. We've seen roller coasters, but we've had nothing on this level. This is on a whole different level that is allowing us to compare all the things that we've been shown for years now in these concept art to what we're actually getting. For years, I've been hearing people talk about how Universal is overpromising with this park. That they are not going to deliver, that the concept art looks amazing, the things that they've got planned sound amazing, but that they're not going to be able to deliver on that vision, that they're going to have to make budget cuts, or it's all in concept art and it looks great, but it's not going to end up that way. This is something that Disney used to be known for. Disney used to be known for concept art equals final delivery. What they showed was what you got, and it was amazing. But in recent years, this really just has not been the case. But just to show an example, again, this is not a bash Disney video, but I want to use this as an illustration that if you look at the Epcot concept art, when they did the whole reimagining of Epcot, and you compare the concept art, all of the new areas in the World Celebration and the Moana attraction and the Communicore building and all of that space where the Fountain of Nations used to be, when you compare that concept art, which looked amazing, you looked at that and thought, wow, I can't even wait, this is going to be great. I mean, we're taking away some amazing things from Epcot, but it looks like you might be replacing it with some really cool stuff that's an upgrade. But then you compare that with what we actually got at Epcot. It's night and day difference. It barely even resembles the concept art. They made all sorts of budget cuts. They weren't able to bring it to life in the way that they said they were going to bring it to life. Some of the areas just look downright tragic, especially the Communicore building. You think about that and what that was supposed to be. It ended up looking like a hospital cafeteria. It looks rough. They took away that amazing, beautiful Fountain of Nations and gave us a garden in the center of Epcot with lighting that doesn't work. It looks like now they may have even given up on trying to even repair the lighting in the ground there. So there's just a lot of things that really failed to deliver. And this used to be something that Disney was really great at. So people have been saying, is Universal gonna be able to pull this off? I mean, the concept art looks fantastic. And everything that we've been seeing from the construction updates, I mean, we're getting more and more pictures that what they've been promising us is what we're getting. Now you can see some slight budget cuts here and there. You look at some of the queues, like the extended queue behind the Monsters Unchained Frankenstein's Manor area, and it doesn't quite look as brilliant and amazing as maybe it looked in the concept art. So there's some minor changes here and there, but not a lot. We've been seeing a lot of things that they've said that they're really delivering on. And this Battle at the Ministry update that they've just given us is showing that in spades. Let's just look at the first picture. If I compare this first concept art picture of what the inside of the Battle with the Ministry was going to look like, once you get through that Metro Flu and you're in that atrium there with the fountain and all this sort of offices, it looks fantastic. It looks fabulous. I mean, it looks visionary. And then we overlay a physical picture of this space, a picture that was taken by a camera that shows us what we're really getting, what's inside that building. Not only does it look like the concept art, to me it looks better than the concept art. It looks out of this world, like amazing. And you have to understand, this is not a movie. This isn't where they built pieces of the British Ministry of Magic and then supplemented it with CGI and green screens and all this stuff and perfect lighting and everything like that. This is what it looks like, and someone snapped a photo of it. Now, you could say, are they photoshopped? Maybe, sure. Have they been saturated with color? Sure. But overall, just the vision is absolutely out of this world. I mean, they nailed it. In this picture, you can see the flue system over on the left. Now, we don't get to see the green flames and everything that's going to happen there, but you can see where you're going to enter and exit one of the entrances there, and it looks great. You see those office sort of windows, office building areas with those pipes sort of connecting at the bottom. You can see the Fountain of the Magical Brethren there. You get the queues in there. You get this awesome banners, these sort of like large banners there up against the wall that just look spot on. I mean, just look just like the concept art. And then what's most amazing to me is the brickwork that's going on, or the tile work, that's ceramic or whatever it is, tiles that are there, that those sort of black that go to like a green gradient like tile. I don't know if that's lighting or some sort of like shiny gradient that's going on in the tile, but it looks unbelievable. And there's 125,000 of these tiles between the queue and the attraction. 125,000. They could have cheaped out and done wallpaper or done sort of like, you know, faux tile work there to make it look good, but there's 125,000 distinct tiles in this thing. Spared no expense, and they look absolutely out of this world. Now, one of the things in this picture that you can see is these sort of clouds and lightning up in the ceiling. You don't see that in the concept art that I showed, but they do have video of that when they released some of the video footage that showed sort of flying through the queue and going in through that area. You can see those like clouds and those lightning. A lot of people were talking about, I don't know how they're going to pull that off. What's that going to be? Is it going to be like a projection at the top? Is it going to be some sort of like steam? I really still have no idea what it is. But in this photo, it looks amazing, and I just have to think this might be one of the areas of the photo that they may have photoshopped, because it looks so cool. I don't even know how you do that in the physical world. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it was photoshopped. I don't know. But if it wasn't photoshopped, I mean, that's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. That's the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever seen in a queue, in an attraction, in anything. So we'll see once we actually get in there what it looks like. But either way, it looks awesome. Now, one of the things that you don't see in the actual image that they gave us either is what's in that sort of room beyond. There's a sort of second room that is leading us into another area. There's another statue there. You can kind of see that. But what you don't see is the flying letters. So in one of the videos, I'll show it, you can kind of see there's all these little flying letters that you're familiar with from the Wizarding World, the Harry Potter movies. In the Ministry of Magic, they use these letters as basically a way to like communicate information. And they're flying all around in that area there in the back in that video. We don't see that in the actual picture, but assumption is there's going to be something back there. I don't know how they're going to do that with projections or screens or something, or maybe it's just things hanging from rope. I have no idea. But we don't get a glimpse of that, but I'm going to trust that that is going to be cool too. In this next picture, we can see the flue system there. It looks awesome. Again, no flame effects, but you can see like the structure of it. It just looks really cool in comparison to the concept art. I mean, it's just on the money. Then in this next one, we get our first real look at the Fountain of Magical Brethren. Comparing that from the concept art and looking at the physical picture of it, I mean, it looks identical, except better. Then we finally got pictures of the ride vehicle itself, the inside of the ride vehicle, and this, we didn't even get concept art that looked as good as these ride vehicles. I mean, we got some concept art that kind of showed the outside of it and what the attraction's gonna look like. Got a little bit of an indication of it, kind of gives you almost a Tower of Terror ride vehicle vibe. But in the real pictures of this ride vehicle, it looks insane. Just the regal nature of those seats. I don't know if that's leather or pleather, or maybe it's hard like plastic. I don't know, but it looks unbelievable. You got that gold trim everywhere, and then you've even got these amazing like Ministry of Magic logos that are sort of like imprinted into these sort of seats, and the walls of this vehicle. I mean, these seats look amazing. These seats look like $1 million. I mean, it looks like you need to be rich to sit in this thing. In that same concept art of the ride vehicle, you could also see Death Eaters in there. You can see that, and we do have real video footage of what the Death Eater animatronic is going to look like to sort of compare. And again, the Death Eater animation looks better than the concept art. Now let's move over to Dolores Umbridge's office. I mean, what? This office looks unreal. Like, it is absolutely spectacular. All those green and black bricks are now transitioned to these pink bricks with this sort of gradient effect on them, because you know she's all things pink. I can't wait to see these tiles in person. I don't understand how they did this effect. It almost looks like there's lighting between every brick that is sort of like shining across this. I'm sure it's just the tile itself, and maybe it's got like a metallic look to it or something in person, but I don't know, just the tiles look amazing. And the fact that they had the green and black ones, and then they have black and white ones, and now they've got these pink ones that look amazing, and they got all this gold trim everywhere. We have another picture that shows more of her office, some of the entry areas into her office. It's got chandeliers up in the ceiling, and those chandeliers, when you look at the concept art of the chandeliers versus the real picture of the chandeliers, I mean, they look the same. They look just as amazing as what's in the concept art. Then we get our first look at Higledy, which of course is Umbridge's faithful house elf until Higlety wasn't her house elf anymore, thanks to her going away to Azkaban. But she's just sort of sitting there up on top of those cabinets in the concept art. She's got that little sort of feather. She's got a little book, and she's got these pink shoes on, which is basically showing that like she's no longer a slave. Like she's been presented with clothes of some kind, and that's basically her saying, I'm a free house elf. And in the real version of that Higlety, she looks amazing. And she's got that sort of feather. She's got that little pink scarf you can see. She's got the pink shoes on. She's got a little ring on. I mean, it just looks amazing. I'm going to assume that it's going to be some sort of animatronic where it maybe moves. She moves a little bit around, maybe even talks to you. I'm not sure, but that just looks awesome. Then we got some more pictures of a variety of different areas of sort of the queue going into the attraction. We got more black and green bricks. We got some black and white bricks here and there. Lots of gold trim everywhere. We've got some windows and little kiosks and desks that you can sort of see in. There's this Department of Magical Creatures sort of logo thing up on the wall that just goes to show you there's different departments in the Ministry of Magic there that you're going to be able to go through, and that's going to be part of the attraction. Then we've got these black and white tiles with all these clocks talking, you know, obviously giving some nods and things to the time room, the time turners. But then we get a glimpse into the Auror's headquarters. Aurors, if you don't know anything, these are basically the law enforcement of magical wizards and witches. We can see their desks. Again, this is coming from the concept art. It looks really cool. But then we get the physical, real world versions of this stuff. You get these desks. And supposedly we're going to get some nods to some of the famous Aurors, like you've got Alistair Moody from the films, you've got Frank Longbottom, a lot of other people that I won't spoil that become Aurors later on in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Just lots of details. You've got things like the Daily Prophet there. We've got some Ministry of Magic binders, and even the magical archives. Just looking at all of these physical pictures, these real world pictures of the queue in this attraction, I mean, I can't say enough good things. This is a crowning moment that I think a lot of people are just kind of passing over. They're just looking at these pictures and thinking, cool, we got more cool pictures of Epic Universe, and they're missing the fact that like this is a pivotal moment. This is the biggest moment that we've had for a long time with regards to Epic Universe and the announcements, because we're really just getting our first glimpse of like, they said they were gonna do this and they did it. They are giving us what they're saying they're gonna give us. A lot of people, again, been speculating. I don't know if they're gonna pull it off. Don't think they're gonna pull it off. It's a lot of vaporware, or it's a lot of big name IPs, but what are they gonna do with it? And the thing is, they've been proving time and time and time again that they are masters of creating these experiential worlds. When they did Hogsmeade, and then they followed that up with Diagon Alley. I mean, I can't think of a more immersive world than Diagon Alley, I have to say. Like anywhere on the planet, that is got to be the most immersive world anywhere. I mean, things like Pandora are fabulous at Disney. Love them. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, it's beautiful, amazing. Doesn't have much of a heart. That's my only downside with that. I feel like it needs more heart and soul. But visibly, it's amazing. But Diagon Alley, it's on another level. On another level. Nocturne Alley and everything built into that. The dragon with the fire. It's on another level. And it looks like Epic Universe is going to be the same thing, just across the board. If everything else turns out even close to what we're getting from these Battle with the Ministry images, it's gonna change the game. I'm telling you, it's gonna be like, I mean, no, it's gonna take years for people to catch up. Years for people to catch up. So that's all I've got. Let me know what you think. Am I right or am I wrong? I mean, what are your thoughts? What are your comments? Are you blown away like I am? Does this give you all the signals that you needed to see in order to say, man, they said they were going to do it. They're nailing it. I cannot wait to be there. We will be there on opening day. I cannot wait for that. Don't forget, there will be new ticket packages, new ways of getting into the park, VIP tickets, express passes, early entry, all that stuff still coming, so stay tuned. We'll be letting you know about those as soon as we get the detailed information. And as always, would love to hear from you in the comments. Let us know what you think. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit that notification so that you know when the next video drops. And until we see you next time, the Noble Way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.